Aloha, aloha, aloha. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to watch video 2 of the Daily Cash Flow video game. Today, we just got a divorce, lost all of our cash. We're on site here on the fast track, and today we are listening to the rest of Rich Dad Radio episode, The Year of Trump. Let's get right back to that episode.
My friend is a waitress, and she busts her butt. She's putting her 3 kids through college. She is flat broke, and she's so proud. She says, "My son is studying calculus now." And I didn't want to tell her, a robot can do that in a split second. Your son is toast. But I didn't tell her that. But I'm telling you guys that. So this is what I see down the future coming. So all of these ideas are coming down the future, and all of this is going to impact us. That's why we're the Rich Dad Radio Show. And then Garrett Sutton, our attorney, Rich Dad advisor on asset protection, he's an author of Start Your Own Corporation, How to Protect Your Assets. What's happening in the field of law?
Well, in the field of law, Robert, you do have, it started with people using attorneys in India for $5 an hour to do the work. Now you have robots doing the work. And so the law firm partners, the big firms, are now letting go all these talented people because attorneys because it can be done much cheaper either in India or with a robot. So
well, that's what the book said. As that Indian attorney is doing the work, the robot is processing what that Indian attorney is doing, and that means the robot will replace that attorney.
Right. And one other point, those robots aren't paying payroll taxes. So if you're relying on Social Security, there are no payments going to the Social Security system on these robots. So you've got to be very careful on how you plan your retirement.
I think that's an oxymoron. I don't think it's possible. That's why Obama was talking about UI, universal income. We're just going to pay people not to work because there's no jobs for them. Even in the field of journalism, there was this the book had this article written by a robot about a baseball player, who died or something like that. It was the most touching article, but a robot wrote it. About a baseball player, his stats and all this stuff. A robot wrote it. So all you guys there who are English majors and journalism majors, you're toast also. And you don't need to pay them overtime. They work 24/7. They work every day of the week. And Martin Ford says in Japan now they have robots that can pick strawberries at night. It can feel the strawberry and tell you whether the strawberry is ripe or not. When you think about that, you go, holy man. Yeah, so Andy is the author. He's Rich Dad advisor on the market. We don't care if the market's going up or down because you can make money either way. And the idea of investing for the long term or in a government pension plan is really a stupid, obsolete idea. And Andy's book is Stock Market Cash Flow. But this was the rub of the whole book. It says what robots are going to do is wipe out the market anyway. Because the U.S. market and most Western markets run on one thing, the middle class and the poor. So if the middle class and poor aren't spending, what the stock market runs on goes down. It cannot stay up because the consumer is toast. What do you think about that, Andy?
Well, there's no question. I mean, without earnings, stocks get more and more expensive, and they get expensive to buy. So if people don't buy products, goods, and services, of course they're toast.
No, they will. They will buy them. They're just not made by humans.
They're not. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be an interesting time in 2017 if a person's unwilling to change, unwilling to adjust. They're going to hurt.
So that's why in 2017 you're going to hear it more and more and more. The Rise of Robots, written by Martin Ford. You can go to the Rich Dad archive. He was interviewed, and that's what's coming down the road. So.
The Rise of Robots. Toodles.